Hello, welcome to my channel, and it's another end of month bot haul video for you. Yes, I am actually recording this on Friday the 30th of March because tomorrow, the final day of the month, the 31st, I'm going to be up at Bury, and so obviously I'm pre-recording this video the day before the end of the month because I prefer to do these videos on the final day of the month if at all possible, but that isn't the case today. But anyway. But this video will go live on the 31st, so yeah, I was not expecting any more deliveries tomorrow, so hopefully I've got all my stuff in this month, and I've got it here to show you. Obviously I'm recording on the new camcorder, and you'll probably notice I've now got some extra bots on display. I decided to get my Titans out, so Tripticon and Fort Max, I dug them out the loft and stuck them up there because it seemed like the obvious place to put them. Yeah, now last month I obviously had a bit of trouble with this bot haul video. I don't know why. I recorded it the same way as I usually do, and uploaded it in a WMA format, and for whatever reason it got corrupted or glitchy and it just wouldn't play properly, so I left it up there for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and then I took it down, and then I re-encoded it in MP4 format, put that up, same problem, video's glitchy, so then I said sod it, right, I'm gonna re-record the whole thing, and I now encode them as AVC format, and that seems to work. Also, I've now got the webcam that does 1080p. Last couple of videos I've been using it, it's not been recorded in 1080p. The reason being is that the intro video at the front of my video was a 720p video clip, and when I came to encode it, it took that as the main resolution to encode the whole video, if that makes any sense. So now I've redone my channel intro as a upscaled it to a 1080p video, and I've tried as best as I can all the video clips in this video as 1080p. So hopefully this will upload in 1080p, but this is the first experiment. I'm still messing around with this new webcam and getting used to the way it works. But anyway, enough chit chats, let's get on with the haul. Not a huge haul this month. Didn't buy any KTRTs because I don't know. I kind of had it in mind to buy Masterpiece Magnus this month, but for whatever reason I decided to put that off to a later time. I don't know. I might get one at TF Nation. I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, so I didn't buy as much stuff this month as I would have normally, and so it's quite a lean month in some respects, and I came almost £100 on the budget, would you believe it? So anyway, let's get on with it. So the first thing that arrived was on the 1st of February, and now I didn't buy any KTRT bots this month, but yeah, Dragonix arrived on the 1st of the month. It was a bot that I bought last month, but because I bought it from an eBay seller who don't usually buy from, he sent it economy postage, and it took like a full month to arrive from Korea. So anyway, bought this, wanted to do a review on one of these because I wanted to give it as an example of the sort of toys that Sonocon is making for the Hello Carbot toy line. I mean, they used to make things like this. Now this is a season 2 bot. This is Genesis Born. This is Genesis Born. He transformed into a 1/22nd scale high-end Genesis, and he's got full ratchets, got 5 swivels, but he's a really cool bot, decent transformation, bright and colourful, big and impressive, cool bot. This is what got me into the Hello Carbots toy line. Unfortunately, as the years move on, they're now doing crap like this. So instead of making, decently sized, properly articulated figures for, sort of slightly older kids, they're dumbing down their toys for younger kids who probably can't transform these because they're a little bit too complex for younger kids. So they're doing these things, which are automorph, and, you get the 2 cars. Come on, get in there. So you get the 2 cars, and then drop one on top of the other, and it springs open into a dragon former. Unfortunately, all the joints are spring loaded because of the automorph gimmick, and that's all it does. It's a one-trick pony. Yeah, it's great for younger kids. It's bright, it's colourful, it's got this really cool automorph gimmick, but for an adult collector like me, I much prefer big, you know, fully articulated bots like this, not automorph crap like this. So yeah, unfortunately this is where the KTRT line is going, and as such I'm slowly losing interest in buying KTRTs as a result, because my main squeeze is going off the boil. And yeah, so I've run out of all the KTRT bots that I want to buy, and now it's a case of what's left is the KTRTs that I might like to buy but don't necessarily need for my collection. And it's difficult now to find stuff worth getting, and that's part of the reason why I didn't buy any KTRT bots this month, but he arrived on the 1st. So next, now it was, what day was it? Now I was off the first week in March. Oh no, not the first week, the second week in March. Sorry, I was off work. I just booked it off, and I decided to go on a toy hunt, Coventry toy hunt, on Monday, the 5th. So I went over to Coventry. Part of the reason was because obviously Toysrus have gone bankrupt. Their stores are closing down. I wanted to get one last toy run to Toysrus in before, you know, before they finished. And now I did actually go to Toysrus as part of this toy hunt, and I recorded a little video before I went in, while I was inside, and when I came out. Was going to do a separate video for it, but in the end I didn't. But those video clips, I'm going to use them here in this whole video, and I'm going to put them in for you now. Good morning. Yeah, it's Monday the 5th of March, and I'm stood outside the Toysrus at Cross Point Retail Park, Coventry, and as you obviously know, it's Toysrus has gone into receivership, and they've got a closing down sale, which is really unfortunate. I mean, I thought I'd come out on I'm off work this week, I'll come out on a toy hunt, and I thought I'd come here to pay my last respects to Toysrus. I mean, I don't know how much longer this store is going to remain open, but there we go. I came here back in December on my pre-Christmas toy hunt, and I thought that was going to be my last visit then, because that was when the news of their financial difficulties first surfaced. But then they had a rescue plan in mind, and there was hope that they could save the company, but unfortunately, as we know, that's fallen through, and the company is definitely going to the wall, and it's really unfortunate. So I've come here, probably this is going to be my last visit to Toysrus, and see if I can pick up any bargains, if any. Yeah, I'd like to buy something, at least something from them, but we'll just have to see, won't we? And it's very sad that yet another UK retailer has you know, gone tits up. You know, we've lost so many over the years, and there's something to be said for going and buying stuff off the shelf rather than, you know, buying it online. But such is the way of things. It's really sad, but here we go. See what we can find. Well, I've just come out, I haven't bought anything, very disappointed. Same old, you know, shelf warmers, no variety of stock, same old figures over and over and over again, stuff I've either already got or don't want. Very, very disappointed. So yeah, that's it. I come away from Toysrus on a sour note. It's a pity, really. You know, you don't want to see these retailers go to the wall, but this is the world we live in now, unfortunately. So, bye bye Toysrus, been nice knowing you. But as you saw, Toysrus was a bust. Didn't see anything worth buying. In hindsight, I wish I would have got one of those deluxe TLK Megatrons, because it's a Toysrus exclusive, and I have got a version of that mold already as a TFCC repaint, so I didn't really need that mold. But it's a deluxe Megatron. I could squeeze a deluxe Megatron into my detail for the rest of my Megs, so I probably could have bought one of those. And it's a Toysrus exclusive figure, so it would have been, you know, worth getting a Toysrus exclusive. But I think this is Easter weekend. I think Toysrus is going to be done. Shut up completely. So I've lost my chance to go there and get another one. So it is what it is. It's a shame that Toysrus had to close, but you know, I didn't have much luck in there, to be honest. Yeah, that was that. But while I was out on that haul, went to Smith's and I got me Power of the Primes figures. So I got Grimlock. He's all right for the most part. Robot mode is fine. Combine mode on mine clips together decently. You know, the Carbot for the combiner, and I've not tried to make a combiner out of this yet because I'm going to wait until I get the rest of the Dinobot limbs. But the only mode on this guy that is, in my opinion, heavily mauled by the combiner gimmick is his Dino mode. His Dino mode is bloody awful, and I'm really hoping that, because it's so bad, I'm really hoping that further down the line, one of these third-party companies like, you know, Dr. Wu or Perfect Effects is going to do an upgrade kit for this figure to give him new legs, new arms, you know, new chest piece, new parts, so that he will transform. He will look more like the Grimlock we know and love, and he will transform into a proper Dino mode, but will, you know, basically engineer out the combiner gimmick. That's what I'm hoping. Whether that happens, I don't know. But aside from that, he's not a bad toy, but like I said, I'm not going to do the combiner gimmick until I get the other figures. So I got Grimlock. And I got Slug or Slag. This guy's all right, actually. I think he's a pretty good update of the G1 figure. He has got loosey hips, but you know, that seems to be the norm on Takara figure, well, Hasbro figures these days. He's all right in robot mode. He's a great little figure, decent transformation. In Dino mode, I don't think the frill on his head and his horns, they don't stick up enough. They could do with sticking a bit further up, I think. They sort of lay a bit flat, and the frill's a bit flat and small as well. I think they could have made the frill stick out a bit more, but I think because of, you know, safety reasons, they've you know, made it flush with the body so people don't, you know, poke themselves with it. But decent little figure. He's all right. So I got him. And then I got Jazz. Now, seems that Jazz is getting in for a bit of hate, Power of the Primes Jazz. Main reason because he doesn't transform into a Porsche 911 or a 935. I think there's a very good reason for that, because obviously Porsche licensing fee, they want a major licensing fee to, you know, to use, you know, for people to make toys of their products. I think that's the main reason why we haven't got an official Masterpiece Jazz up to now, because, you know, Porsche Motor Company want too much money, even though Playmobil have got the licensed Porsche, so they've got you know, Porsches in there that recently released Porsches in their toy line. But Takara and Hasbro at the moment, no, we ain't prepared to pay that. So we've got a Jazz. It looks like Jazz. It's got the colours. It's got these grilly bits on his legs. It's got the black and the white. I've watched Retro Prime's review, and he was going on about, oh, I don't like these things here. And yeah, I never noticed them at first, but yeah, they are very kind of loose, and obviously flippy, you know, very loose hips. But, you know, as in terms of the alt mode, he transforms into a racing car, like a Le Mans style car or a GT prototype car. And Porsche in the 1980s and 90s, they dominated, you know, in Le Mans and, you know, the GTP series in America and Europe. So I think it does kind of transform into a Porsche, but the main problems I have with it is the paint apps. I mean, the paint apps on this particular example are really bad. I mean, there's bleed around the windows. The white in here is very weak. Paint apps on mine are god awful, to be honest. But he's an okay figure. He looks like Jazz to me, even though, you know, he doesn't quite hit those aesthetic cues for the alt mode that people would have expected, but he's all right. He's okay. I haven't really got any major problems with him. So that was that little toy hunt that I did on the 5th. Now, moving along, on Thursday the 8th, Spartown Comics went uptown, and Lisa had a bunch of comics for me. So we've got Transformers versus Visionaries, number 3. Optimus Prime, number 16. Lost Light, number 15. Now, before we go any further, obviously last month I had a bit of a problem with Lost Light number 14, mainly because Mr. Roberts decided to kill off all my favourite characters. I may have overreacted a little bit in that video, even though if you think that's bad, you should have seen what I said in the previous video, whole video that I posted up. Because I mean, that video, when I re-recorded it, the original video was over 50 minutes long, and the re-recorded video was only 40 minutes long. So I cut out 12 minutes, and that was 12 minutes of me ragging on, you know, James Roberts and the Lost Light. So I doubt if anybody's seen that, but I've still got it. But there's no point in me putting it up, because you know what I'm like. I've got some very caustic and toxic opinions about certain things that upset people. So there's no point in me putting it up. But anyway, needless to say, like Mr. Bisto Yeti said, bait and switch. Yeah, you were totally right, Richard. If you're watching, yeah, James Roberts pulled the rug out from under me, and I got very upset when he killed off my characters in the last issue. But turns out they were faking their death for Scorponok and his prison guards. So they got away and they've survived, even though they've now Grimlock and the Scavengers have parted company. Grimlock's gone one way, the Scavengers have gone the other, and the Scavengers have basically transmat teleported themselves into a locked prison cell on Garrus 9 Prison. So yeah, so they're still alive, even though they're out of the loop for a while. But yeah, I did actually enjoy reading this comic, even though when I first got it, well, when I got it from Lisa, I did a quick flick through to see that to see whether the characters were in it, and they were, but I didn't actually read it for a couple of days. I read the other comics that I bought straight away, but I didn't read this one until, because it was a Bury weekend, until I went to the Bury and came back on the Sunday night, and then I actually sat down and read it, and did enjoy it a whole lot. So yeah, I'm still a bit cross with Mr. James Roberts for what he did, but there we go. It's a decent comic. And obviously the last one I got was the Optimus Prime Annual. Bought this mainly because Thundercracker's in it. Thundercracker basically has been, you know how he's got a pet dog and he wants to write a human sitcom for TV. He's obsessed with human sitcoms. Anyway, Starscream gives him the task of doing making Starscream the movie as a publicity stunt. And so he's going around doing that, and as he's researching for it, he's going and talking to various people and getting different opinions on what they feel about Starscream. And by the time he's actually got around to filming said film, Starscream then basically admits to all his crimes and gets put in prison. So it's completely pointless, but it was all right. It was decent enough, worth getting. As for the other two comics, Transformers versus Visionaries is doing quite well. I'm enjoying it, and this again, it's going into this thing called the Falling. Now, just recently, news has come out that the Transformers IDW comics is going to get rebooted completely in September. So all the current comic lines are going to run up to September, and then they're going to finish, and then IDW is going to do a complete reboot and go forwards. Now, obviously that means that Optimus Prime and the Last Light, I think they're going to run out to issue 25 and then they're going to finish. Transformers versus Visionaries only got like 2 issues left because it's a mini series, so that will be done. And I think they're doing a Unicron series, because if you read First Strike, the final issue of First Strike, at the very end there was a basically a message went out into space and was intercepted by Unicron. So Unicron's coming into the IDW comics in the near future. So I think they're going to do a mini series on that, but we'll have to wait and see what happens. But I'm buying the current IDW comics, but if they're really like this is suggested, they're going to wind them up, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Though I think there's going to be further things going to be happening in the comics that's going to be upsetting for some people, maybe me, but we'll have to wait and see. So yeah, I've got a bunch of comics on the 8th. So moving on, right now, obviously people have been going out and going to B&M home stores and picking up leader class figures on the cheap, most notably the Titans Return leader classes, like Sky Shadow and Six Shot, and the Last Night leader class Megatron and Optimus for like 15 quid. Now, when I went out on my toy hunt on the 5th, I also went round 3 B&M stores in the Coventry area. The one at Walsgrave, the one at the Airfield Retail Park, and another one closer in. Didn't find any any figures that I was after, and I was mostly after Sky Shadow, so that was 3 busts at B&M's in Coventry. So then, moving forwards, the 10th, Saturday the 10th, I went up to Bury, and when I'm up at Bury, I usually, after I go uptown to have my my breakfast at the Witherspoons, I have a wander around the town centre and I go to the toy shops just to have a look-see. So usually, sometimes I go into the Entertainer, but mostly I go to Smith's, because there is a Smith's in Bury Town Centre that's easy walking distance from the town centre. Also, there is a big B&M store in the main centre. So I decided let's go on this hunt. Went into the B&M store in the Bury Town Centre, and yay, I found him. Sky Shadow for 15 quid at B&M. He was the only one they had in stock, so that was fortunate. Yeah, I've been umming and ahhing about getting this bloke. Part of the reason was that mainly he's a phase 6er, so the phase 6 is probably the biggest, most badass Decepticons there ever was. Yeah, so he's one of those, and he's also the biggest representation of toy form we've got currently. So there was the Deluxe one that came out as part of the Generations line, but yeah. And he's, IDW styled, even though in the IDW comic he got killed off by the DJD in the early issues of the More Than Meets the Eye. But yeah, he's quite big, and they've done all 3 of the phase 6s in this leader scale. I've got Six Shot, I've got Sky Shadow. I'm not sure where I'm going to get Overlord, but I really would like the Mastermind Creations reformatted Carnifex. I really like that, but it's a lot bigger. Different aesthetic, different scale to these guys, but I think he would work as a a chug scale Sky Shadow. He's a decent enough figure. It's got some really cool engineering, especially the way the the tank sort of folds, the tank turret folds into the back of the legs. I quite like that, and yeah, he comes apart for the transformation. But yeah, he's all right. He's a decent figure, really good, and all the better for paying £15 from B&M home stores. So yeah, I'm glad I got it for the price that I did. And no, thanks to all those YouTubers who clued me in that he was up there, most notably Mr. Zort Rider. So yeah, I managed to get hold of him. He's all right. And carried on round Bury Town Centre, went over to Smith's, and got Power of the Prime Swoop as well. So yeah, got him. Now, again, Mr. Zort Rider, you did a sort of a review on this guy, I think, and you said you were scared to transform this guy because you were fear of breaking him. Now, I think I've heard rumours that this guy's got weaknesses in the mould, that he breaks easily if you're a bit rough with it. I personally can't see how that's how that's the case on this, because I've transformed this a couple of times and I've not had any issues with it. You know, it's got, you know, loosey hips as usual, but apart from that, it's a decent enough figure. It's a decent enough swoop. I don't have any problems with it, to be honest. It's all right. I haven't tried to put it into the combiner mode yet, but like I said, I'm waiting until I get the other two figures before I manage to before I'm going to be bothered to do that. But yeah, so I got Swoop. I had seen him the previous time I went up at Bury, but I didn't buy him back then because I wasn't really ready to buy it then. So I managed to pick him up, and actually getting these guys, it was one of those rare occasions when I go out on a mini toy hunt at Bury where I get exactly what I was after. You know, I was after this guy. I knew I could get him from Smith's, and I was hoping to get this guy at B&M Home Store. So, in the words of Hannibal Smith from the A-Team, I love it when a plan comes together. Yeah, I'm really glad that I had success to get these guys on the mini toy hunt I did up at Bury on that's Saturday the 10th. So yeah, quite pleased about that. Right, so moving on now. Over the last couple of months, I've pre-ordered a bunch of figures from TFS Express and Kapow, and obviously been waiting for them to come in. And one of the figures that arrived on the 14th was a guy that I decided to get in January, pre-ordered it in January, Planet X Apollo. Now, he's arrived, and as you can see, I've transformed him into his armoured truck mode. Now, the reason I got this is because of these guys. Vans Project City Commander. Transformation Toys Mebsuta. And Fans Project Blue Armour, their second attempt at doing what's it. So obviously I've got both Fans Project ones now. Now, basically, this is a third-party armour set that you put over an official transforming toy, in this case, Classics Ultra Magnus. Now, I just so happen to have two Classics Ultra Magnuses, so I could buy both the armour sets and fit them simultaneously. So yeah, so I was into collecting those, and this guy represents yet another third-party Ultra Magnus armour set. Now, it's underneath, you can see the armour pieces all clipped together to form this shell, which then drapes over the top of the white prime mode, and then it just loosely clips in at the front, and then you've got the white prime mode underneath. So yeah, they've done repaints of this in a Nemesis and Optimus colours. So this is the Magnus version. And that's the basic figure, and then you get all the armour pieces then form the shell, and they all clip together. I mean, obviously you can see his head and his waist piece and the hammer under there. So decided to get that. Very big, bulky thing. I quite like the aesthetic on the truck mode. It's pretty cool. I really like that really butch front end. It reminds me of RID Ultra Magnus from the the Car Robot series, because he had a very sort of butch, sort of chunky truck mode, and it reminds me very much of that. And you could say this was his Cybertronian mode before he came to Earth, so it could could be connected between the two. But yeah, so there we go. I got him. He's really cool. Pre-ordered it from Kapow, so as I got an early bird price, so I got it for just over 85 quid, which I was quite happy about. So I got him. And moving along, on the 16th of March, went back to Spartown Comics and got Lost Light number 16. Now, going on about James Roberts killing off characters. He's killed them all off. They're all dead, and now they're in the afterlife. Yeah, weird stuff going on. Interesting. Yeah, Tailgate died, but he crops up in this, you know, and him and Cyclonus have a moment. They basically rush in and hug each other and stuff. But it's be interesting to see where this is going to go. Again, you know, I'm continuing with the IDW comics for now, and as I know they're going to be winding to a finish in the next couple of months, so I'll just keep going with it until it's over. But got that, and then right, another pre-ordered figure arrived. Now I pre-ordered this in December 2017. Now, Takara Movie Best MB20 Nemesis Prime. Wow. I never thought I would get excited about an Optimus Prime toy. Yeah, I do like Prime figures. I've got a few, but I don't collect them because it's Optimus. I collect them because I like the engineering on the mold, because Optimus Prime is one of those figures who's like uber popular, and he has a proliferation of toys made after him, all different shapes and sizes. Every new toy line that comes out has got at least 2 or 3, you know, Optimus Prime figures in it, all with different molds, usually like Voyager or leader class figures that are quite, you know, detailed and have a decent amount of engineering on them, and I like the molds. But when it comes to getting Prime molds, if I have the opportunity to go for the repaint, because obviously it gets repainted usually as Ultra Magnus or Nemesis Prime, so I would prefer to go for those. Now this Nemesis Prime is not in the usual black and teal that we're used to with Nemesis Prime. No, this is Nemesis Prime from the Last Night movie, where Optimus Prime, you know, at the end of Age of Extinction, he jetted off into space, went back to Cybertron, got drawn in by Quintessa. Quintessa then did a number on him and sort of, you know, brushed her hand up against his face and gave him that red stripe, and then reprogrammed him, turned him into evil Nemesis Optimus Prime, and that's what this toy represents. So it's come on. Oh yeah, I forgot to do this manually because I've turned the auto off. There we go. You can see the red stripe on his head. So he's got that, and the colours on it in general are darker and more muted than they are on Optimus toys, because Optimus toys tend to be like the bright red and blue. This has got like a darker metallic blue, and the silver's all like it's almost like a light gunmetal shade. But this thing is amazing, and this is the caliber mold for the rework that now. You've got the Age of Extinction leader class mold, and it had some issues. It had like a lot of truck kibble hanging off the back, and certain parts weren't, you know, sort of screen accurate, like the forearms. But then they redid it for Takara. Redid it for the Last Night. They did the caliber version, where they remolded the forearms to make them more screen accurate, and the back of the truck folds up into a shield. And the engineering on this thing is absolutely brilliant. I love it. And then you get a much cleaner bot with not so much kibble hanging off the back. And he's got, you know, he's got lots of clicky ratchets, and he looks amazing. He's got the flip over, you know, head sculpt where he's got the face mask and the face plate and all that. I'm blown away by it. Honestly, I am. I love this thing. It's amazing. And like I said, I never thought I'd get excited about an Optimus Prime toy. Very tempted to review this thing. So if you think I should review it, just put a comment down below. And I'm tempted to do it in honour of a certain TFYTC member who likes collecting Transformer figures. You know, I'm you know, do it for him. But yeah. I really like this thing. It's amazing. awesome figure. And yeah, love it, love it, love it, love it. So, and oh yeah, last bit. Yesterday, obviously today's Friday. Yesterday was Thursday. This video has been uploaded on Saturday. Went uptown, Spartown Comics. Just managed to catch Lisa and got Transformers Visionaries #4 again. It's all right. It's good stuff. I'm liking it, even though another character's been killed off in this issue. It's Quick Switch this time, dies a death in this one, but again he was drilling down to the core of the planet to get at that artifact. But anyway, yeah, so that's all right. There's only one issue of this left. It's interesting to see how they're going to wind it up, but one more issue of this to go. And that was the last thing I bought this month. So we're only just over 30 minutes, so we're not doing too bad. Yeah, that was my haul for this month. Like I said, it wasn't a massive haul. Came in, well, just under £100 under budget, so that was good. Yeah, that's it. Something I do on these toy hunts this year is I do what I call the first and worst. So I look back at the things that I bought this month and I think, well, what was the best thing that I bought and what was the worst thing that I bought? I was struggling a bit until this guy came in. So he's the first and this is the worst. So the whole thing, you know, the whole haul is bookended by best thing that I bought by the worst thing that I bought. So yeah, so that's the first and worst. So that's what we're doing. Yeah, so that's been my haul for this month. I hope you've enjoyed it. Moving on to April. Next month, there's the Spartown Comic Con on April the 16th, uptown. Me and my mate Richard are going up, and as I do the thing that when I go to the local Comic Cons, I like to take a wad of money across to see if I can pick up something big and impressive. So I'm planning on taking 200 quid to that. And then at the end of the month, there's another NEC Toy Fair. I think it's on the 29th, Sunday the 29th. So yeah, so they're going to account for hopefully a lot of the bots that I buy next month. But saying that, I've been TFI Wilderness. This has been my haul for March. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I will catch you all next time. Ta-da!